Hey guys, it's Miss Burb, and today is the first video of my timeline investigation. I'm trying very hard to analyze stuff, but you guys have been very helpful in giving me information on Twitter, and I also sometimes I see discussion in Discord, so thank you guys very much for that. But today, I want to discuss one element of formulating a timeline theory that involves a certain calendar in the episode Copycat. You all know what I'm talking about. It's Marinette's stalker calendar of Adrien. And one day I'm going to actually do a stalker video on that. And that will be a very important part of that. So hopefully I'll get to that one day. And no, I don't intend to just repeat everything that is said in the Miraculous Ladybug wiki, okay? I have some dignity, but you guys can check that out too for information. The purpose of this video is to translate the calendar for you guys, since Miraculous Ladybug is originally in French, and then elaborate one theory I have that's related to Style Queen that has to do with this calendar. So Marinette very conveniently left a calendar explaining her stalker habits, but it provides some deep clues for the series. In terms of the calendar itself, each column is a month. Janvier for January, Février for February, Mars for March, Avril for April, Mai for May, Juin for June. You may notice that each month is given like 30 or 31 days. So there's some issues here. You can see that February has like 31 days, for example. So it really doesn't quite work out. But, you know, maybe in their universe they have 31 days in February. The days of the week use the first letter of the day. So seeing as these are the French days of the week, I'll just explain it for you guys so that you guys know what it is. L stands for lundi, or Monday. M stands for mardi, or Tuesday. And there's also another M, mercredi, which is Wednesday. J is for jeudi, or Thursday. V is for vendredi, which is Friday. S is for samedi, which is Saturday. And D is for dimanche, Sunday. The green rectangle represents the weekend. So as you can see, there's the S and the D representing the weekend. And the red rectangles are holidays, apparently. Now, I don't personally know this. The wiki says so I'm gonna trust the wiki. You can also see that there are blue rectangles. These seem to correspond to breaks and holidays that are not like national ones, but rather school holidays. So the first set that we see here seems to be the winter holiday, and the second set seems to be the spring holiday. This is also evident by the fact that it says vacances in big letters, which means vacation. So now that we've gotten all that out of the way, let's just kind of break down the different elements that we can see in the calendar. Adrien's activities are written down, and Marinette sometimes needs to provide drawings to represent the classes themselves instead of writing the actual word. So for example, she actually wrote out and provides a little drawing for fencing, which is escrime in French. There's a basketball symbol, probably standing for basketball classes or team sport thing, whatever. And there's also a Chinese symbol, which probably represents Chinese class. I mean, it can only be a guess because the Chinese character that's written down here means wood in Mandarin, which is the Chinese dialect that Adrien is learning. Why wood? I have no idea. It might have just been shoehorned in to kind of show that, oh, this is Chinese, so a Chinese symbol, whatever. Also, it's interesting to note that Marinette wrote some things alongside some of the basketball dates. Basket encore, basket toujours, and basket forever, which means basket again, basket always, and basket forever. Other things that appear on the calendar are these burger drawings with the words déjeuner avec. So these are supposedly lunch meetings, and the person changes every time. Although it is interesting to point out that one of them is Thomas. Perhaps Adrien is meeting with Thomas Destrick to discuss who Ladybug is. Before I get to the most important part of the calendar I want to talk about today, I'll translate the other events. One point of interest on the calendar is Valentine's Day. Though, I mean, we can already kind of figure out that Dark Cupid takes place on that day, so this isn't as big of a deal. There's an event named Roller Time in the calendar. This could theoretically be when Time Breaker occurs, since Adrien was attending the same roller skating event between Alex and Kim. Right below that, we see Rendez-vous avec son père, which means he has an appointment with his father. Marinette makes pictures to go with her events, but this one is kind of weird. There's no clear image and it's even in a different color, so what gives? There's also an event for sortie avec ses amis, which means going out with friends. The event with the cat drawing says volontariat au centre des chatons abandonnés, which basically means volunteer work in Center for the Abandoned Kittens, so I guess that shows another reason why Marinette loves them so much. The last 3 are symbols with no words around. There's a musical date here, one with a heart, and another green glowing one that's really weird next to the fencing date here. We can easily guess that the music one is probably a concert of some kind, and the heart must be some sort of romantic event. I have no idea about the green one though. So all that is said and done, the important thing here is to think about that the fact that the show has given us a way to give definitive dates to some events. Like the Timebreaker episode with the roller time event. We could easily associate the musical event to one of the concerts Adrien attends, for example. Which brings me to the one I've been avoiding to talk about that's really obvious on the calendar, the photo shoots. This calendar shows us how often Adrien has a scheduled photo shoot. Now, mind you, in parentheses, it's actually marked parc, which is park in French, next to all of the photo shoots. Which kind of suggests that that the photo shoot always takes place in the park. But all of them are marked this way. All of them seem to be copy-pasted. So we could conclude that either Marinette figured out when Adrien's park shoots are, or that these are all of Adrien's shoots, and then these are just copy-pasted onto the calendar. However, the reason why I brought it up is because I believe I might know the exact date that Style Queen takes place in based on these events. This is Miss Burb from the future, and I am here from the future to tell you that the following theory might not be correct. Basically what happened was that in my Discord, they actually started to discuss the dates, and somebody pointed out that in Volpina, they apparently show the lady blog and its date, and the date on the lady blog is the May 21st, which means that my theory can't quite work. So the next part of this video is basically a past theory that, could still be true if the lady blog is inaccurate, but it probably isn't. I'm still gonna let it go and continue on, but please be aware that this is probably not real anymore. So just take this video as more of like an explanation for the calendar. Okay, thanks, bye! So in Style Queen, we know that a fashion show takes place where Adrien wears the hat that he received from Marinette in Mr. Pigeon. His father says in that episode that Adrien will wear the hat in the next publicity campaign. Now this episode takes place on May 18th, which is the date of the competition. So theoretically, when you have a publicity campaign, you have a photo shoot. So based on this and based on the dates, we could conclude that the date that Style Queen takes place in must be around May 30th. If you're skeptical about this theory, consider this. In Volpina, Gabriel Agreste is angry because he says that he has a fashion show coming up in 3 days, and somehow the people that he's talking to, they messed up his order.
What? This is unacceptable. The sample garment doesn't match at all. All you had to do is follow a pattern. Imbeciles. What am I supposed to do? The show is in 3 days.
In that same episode, Adrien steals the grimoire and then loses it to Marinette. In The Collector, Gabriel tries to get his book back and starts to go berserk. In that same episode, when Marinette goes to see her classmates, we can see that Adrien is missing his fencing classes. What do we see right before the photo shoot on May 30th? We see that Adrien has a fencing class scheduled for that day. You're telling me, but Miss Burb, there's a photo shoot the week right afterwards with the exact same scenario. There's a fencing class right before the photo shoot, and the photo shoot is supposed to happen in the park. Yes, I admit it, the theory isn't rock solid. So I'm calling it right now, Style Queen will take place on May 30th. Or on June 8th, since we see that there's the exact same scenario that happens where fencing class takes place 2 days before the photo shoot. And if I'm wrong, well, that's why they call these theory videos. So thank you guys for coming. Subscribe if you want more, and this is just the first part in my timeline theory. I finished season 1 and I'm working on season 2 right now. I think it's gonna take a lot of work to try to figure out everything out and piece everything together, and I can tell you right now that the timeline is messy. If you guys have any information you want to give me, please feel free to tell me, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!